Good morning, everyone. Myself, I am Chaitanya. I am posted as a Deputy Director at National Water Academy, Central Water Commission, Pune. I welcome you all to this training program through distance learning on Introduction to Python Programming and its applications in water resources sector. I will be acting as a course director for this training program. This training program is designed as a foundational course for water resources professionals who have some basic understanding of the programming concepts, geographical information systems, that is GIS, and remote sensing. We will be concentrating more on basics of Python programming and applications of Python during this training program. This is the first time we are conducting this training program, that too in a distance learning mode, making use of newly created Moodle e-learning platform of NWA. We have received 730 registrations for participation in the training program. Let me tell you at the beginning itself that I myself don't have much proficiency in computer programming. However, I find Python to be the best choice for teaching, for learning as well as teaching programming to beginners. We won't be able to cover everything. We will try to cover the basics. We will try to cover some libraries, important Python libraries, which will be useful for data analysis and geospatial analysis. We have to take everyone along while covering the basics. However, by the end of the training program, it is expected that the participants will become conversant with the basics of the Python programming, and this training program will act as a foundation for them to further build up their competencies. Regarding the timing of the training program, we will be following a flexi approach. There will not be any fixed timings for the sessions. All sessions, recorded video sessions, hands-on sessions, any other training material will be uploaded in the e-learning platform. Announcements will also be made on the platform. We will be also be making use of WhatsApp group, which is created for the purpose for passing information and making announcements. We will be providing sufficient time period for the participants to practice. After the end of the training program, we will be providing sufficient time for participants to attempt assessment test, and those participants who complete the training program attempt assessment test and submit the feedback will be receiving e-certificates. So let us now start with the first session of this training program on Introduction to Python Programming and its applications in water resources sector. In the first session, we will be also be installing Python and setting up the environment on our systems. Clear understanding of hydrological processes, assessment and monitoring of various components of hydrological cycle are essential for sustainable development and management of water resources. Hydrological parameters such as precipitation, evapotranspiration, river discharge, soil moisture change, groundwater storage change, snow cover change, all these comprise of terrestrial water storage change. They all play an important role in the water and energy balance at any spatial scale. Understanding monsoon rainfall pattern and components of hydrological cycle, it has assumed greater importance in the context of growing sectoral water demands and climate change predictions. Measurement of hydrological parameters and their quantification through traditional methods of measurements, such as point measurements, such as rain gauges, gauge and discharge stations, as well as retrieval of hydrological parameters from remote sensing imagery. It will naturally yield huge volumes of data. Long-term data sets at various spatial and temporal scales serve as inputs to process-based hydrological models for better estimation and forecasting of hydrological parameters. In other words, water resources professionals and researchers, they must deal with humongous amounts of data. Often raw data doesn't convey the right kind of information and may not be of much utility for analysis and decision making. Therefore, data preparation, data manipulation, data analysis, data visualization, and data presentation, they become very important, especially for decision making. With Python, we can handle any kind of structural data, whether it is in the tabular form or spreadsheets, whether it is in the form of multidimensional arrays. We will be seeing that raster data in the form of satellite imagery, it is represented as multidimensional arrays. Then Python can deal with relational databases wherein multiple tabular data are interrelated by key columns. It can deal with the time series data that we come across, whether evenly or unevenly spaced. Python with active support, Python programming with active support of user community and open source third party libraries. It has become very popular choice for data analysis tasks. Just to illustrate the point that raw data often fails to convey the necessary information. This data pertains to temperature anomaly that have been observed over a long period of time. But we cannot make anything out of this data. We cannot derive any useful information. When the same data is plotted as a time series plot and presented as a time series plot, we can derive meaningful information of how the temperature anomaly has varied over a period of time. And when you add spatial context to the data and present it in the form of spatial map, it adds much more value to the information provided by the data. Someone has utilized the same data and presented temperature anomalies by country-wise between years 1880 to 2017. Thereby, one can visualize the data across space and time. This animation was done using Python. That brings us to the point of geospatial analysis and its importance. Our planet is undergoing environmental changes that have never been seen in recorded history. Parallelly, open access data and software have become more widely available to everyone, especially in last few years. Geospatial analysis is the best approach to understanding our world more efficiently and deeply. As we have just seen how adding spatial context to the data provides valuable information. Geospatial analysis can answer critical questions at the heart of the choice to be made and often cannot be answered any other way. Then the question comes, why use programming language when we have access to GIS softwares? When modern geospatial analysis can be conducted with the click of a button in any of the easy to use commercial or open source GIS software such as ArcGIS or QGIS respectively. The answer to that question is you want to have complete control of the underlying algorithms, data, and execution. And more importantly, you want to automate specific repetitive tasks, which is not otherwise possible with GIS softwares. Say you want to mosaic tiles of satellite imageries over a long period of time, or you want to uh, derive time series of NDVI of a particular location from daily satellite imagery, or you want to conduct change detection analysis over a long period of time. Such things you can such workflows can be conducted using making use of programming language. You want to learn program that is easy to share with others users so that they also improve upon and add value to it, and you want to learn geospatial analysis beyond pushing buttons in software. Then comes the question of why only Python programming language but not any other computer programming language. Python was created in early 1990s but has become more popular lately, coinciding with the time period of increased access to open access datasets and software. We are viewing Python applications from the standpoint of data analysis requirements. So some of the notable features of Python are it is a full spectrum language, meaning you can start with the basics, and as you go along, when you get conversant with the language and when the requirements increase, you can adopt its advanced features without having the need to shift to any other language for building applications. It is a very good language for beginners because of its elegant syntax, which is easier to read and write. Whereas other powerful programming languages like C++, they have a somewhat intimidating syntax for beginners who are new to programming. It is an interpreted language which can be picked up for running short snippets of code and get your program working without getting lost in the problems of compilation. Python is a high-level language, and all high-level languages need to be converted to low-level languages which are understandable to machines. And this can be done either through compilers or through interpreters. Python, in contrast to compiled languages, is an interpreted language. Python comes with its inbuilt integrated development and learning environment, and Python can be used with many other integrated development environments, and its interactive mode makes it easy to test short snippets of code. In this course, we will be using Jupyter notebooks later, where you will see how you can write and execute um, short snippets of code at ease. Python comes with a large standard library which can be used for doing all sorts of tasks, and these libraries are extendable by adding new modules implemented even in a compiled language such as C or C++. Python can also be embedded into an application to provide a programmable interface. Python is portable. It runs everywhere from Linux to Mac and to Unix to Windows. It runs in across all operating systems, and you can share the code with any user. Only thing is the one has to install the required modules on the system to get the code running. It is free and open source. It doesn't cost anything to download or use Python or to include it in your application. It can be freely modified and redistributed. The benefits of open source is it comes along with source code which you can modify and redistribute and use wherever you want. Another use of open source softwares is it also comes with an active community support which is useful for addressing bugs and other issues related to the language. Any problem that you come across while executing a program, you can find solutions at very easily as there is an active user community support which is available online. For example, through portals such as Stack Overflow, etc. Again, just to illustrate the point of elegant syntax which is easier to read and write. It is customary for those learning programming to write printing hello world as the first program Now the same program of printing hello world in C++ and Python is shown here, and you can see the syntax of C and C++ is for newcomers, it will be a bit intimidating, whereas Python, it is like English language, which is simpler to read and write and understand. It is as simple as reading English language. These are some of the programming language features of Python. There is a variety of basic data types and structures available in Python. We will be seeing about data types tomorrow. Python supports object-oriented paradigm, programming paradigm. We will see what is object-oriented programming paradigm later this week. Python code can be grouped into modules and packages. Error handling in Python is cleaner and is easier. Python has other advanced programming features such as generators, list comprehensions. The Python's automatic memory management frees you from having to manually allocate and free memory in your code. These are some of the features which are better understood by those who are already conversant with programming. Coming to installation of Python, you may already have Python installed on your system through your operating system other than Windows. It is known as System Python, which is used by your operating system and is usually out of date. Python is available for download from this URL python.org. However, we will not be installing Python from here. We will be installing it as part of Anaconda Package Manager, as we are more concerned about installation of third-party packages which will be useful for data analysis and geospatial analysis. We will install the packages in a secluded environment. We will see that part afterwards. Just to give an idea of how Python interpreter looks like, you can launch the online Python interpreter by clicking on this Launch Interactive Shell, which will launch the online Python interpreter. Of this version 3.9.5, which was released in May 2021, whereas the latest version which is available for download for Windows is Python 3.10.1. So after this prompt, you can type your code. Snippets of code can be typed and tested immediately, can be executed by pressing enter. Like we can add two numbers, we can print a hello world statement here by typing print hello world. All releases, previous releases for Windows are available depending upon whether your system is a 32-bit system or 64-bit system. Windows installer files can be downloaded and you can run the file and install Python on your system. Python 2 is no longer supported. The last version, Python 2.7.18, was released in April 2020, and its development end of life has reached, and it is no longer a good idea to start any new project in Python 2, whereas Python 3 is currently in vogue. Before going ahead with installation of Anaconda distribution and Python packages using Anaconda distribution, let us understand few terms. Even if you don't understand these terms, there is nothing to worry. You may proceed with installation of Anaconda distribution, and you may revisit the coming three slides afterwards for improving your understanding. Now, what it actually is Anaconda distribution is Anaconda distribution is an easy to install collection of high performance Python libraries along with Conda, which is an open source package and environment management system. In other words, Anaconda distribution is a collection of high performance Python libraries plus Conda, which is a tool for finding, installing, running and updating the packages, Python packages along with their dependencies. Here we are using libraries and packages interchangeably. So because Python being an open source software, so many users are developing um, many packages for specific purposes. Multitude of packages are being developed, modified and redistributed by the users. Some of them become very popular because of their high utility. So many packages are there, and and if a package was developed on the basis of a previous version of Python, along with other dependencies. Dependencies may include other packages like the GeoPandas is dependent upon Pandas, which is used for GeoPandas is used for vector data analysis. Similarly, Rasterio, which is used for raster data analysis, it is dependent upon another package, another popular numerical Python NumPy package. So all these packages are have their interdependencies, which are, they may be dependent upon a different version of Python, or they may be dependent upon a different version of another package. So it may be leading to conflicts if there are many versions of Python on a computer. So Conda, which is a tool for package and environment management, it can set up a separate environment to run that different version of Python for running that package while continuing to run the current version of Python outside in the normal environment. Why do I need Anaconda distribution? As said, many scientific packages require a specific version of Python to run. It's difficult to run various Python installations on one computer from interacting and breaking, and harder to keep them up to date. Anaconda distribution makes management of multiple Python versions on one computer easier and provides a large collection of highly optimized, commonly used data science libraries to get you started faster. The takeaway from this slide is Anaconda distribution has a collection of scattered high performance Python libraries at one place, and it also has a tool called Conda, which is used for managing those packages, those Python packages, and while creating environment for running those packages without conflicting with other versions which are on the same computer. Then coming to the term environment, what is an environment? An environment is nothing but a folder or directory that contains a specific collection of Python packages and their dependencies so that they can be maintained and run separately without interference from each other, as stated in the previous slide. You can have multiple versions of Python installed on your system, and multiple versions of Python and multiple versions of third-party packages installed on your system within isolated environments, which will avoid conflicts. It is a good practice to create separate environment whenever you are starting a new Python project. So the takeaway from these paras is that we have to create separate, it is always better to create separate environment for any new Python project, and you install all your packages in that environment for the task at hand. Then what is a channel? A channel, Conda channel, these are the locations where the packages are actually stored. It is the repository of all the packages. They serve as the base for hosting and managing packages. Conda packages are located from remote channels, which are URLs to directories containing Conda packages. Now, different channels can have same package and so Conda must handle these channel collisions. So it is a good practice to always install packages from the same channel to the extent possible. So the takeaway from here is that we have to install all packages from the same channel to the extent possible. We have to create a separate environment for a new project, Python project, and we have to install all packages in that environment from the same channel. Conda Forge is a community channel made up of thousands of contributors that provides Conda packages for a wide range of software applications. Now, before creation of this community channel called Conda Forge, locating packages was very difficult because multitude of users were developing and redistributing the packages, and they are scattered over many channels. And combining packages across channels was not always possible due to binary incompatibilities. And packages were only available for architectures that developer was interested in or had access to. And channels were often abandoned, updating required locating new channels. After Conda Forge community channel was created, all packages are shared in a single channel. Care is being taken that all packages are up to date, and common standards ensure that all packages have compatible versions. So we will be using Conda Forge channel for installing the packages. We will create a separate environment and we will install useful Python packages for our purpose from Conda Forge channel. Suppose if a package is not available from Conda, then you may be able to find it elsewhere via Conda Forge or by using another package manager like pip. However, it is not advisable to mix Conda and pip for installation of packages unless strictly necessary. Another takeaway here is we should always try to use one package manager that we must use because we are installing Anaconda distribution and installing various packages using Conda tool. We should always try to install packages using Conda only. And for non-Conda packages, if it is necessary, we have to go for another package manager called pip. So for this course, we will be installing Python from Anaconda distribution as part of Anaconda package manager, and then we will create a new environment. We will name it as Python-WRM, short form for water resources management, for installing various packages from Conda Forge channel. So that is that final conclusion, that we will be creating a new environment Python-WRM for installing various packages, Python packages from Anaconda distribution from Conda Forge channel. Coming to the actual installation of Anaconda distribution, in the slide given provided to you, you will find a hyperlink to Anaconda installer for Windows, which will direct you to Anaconda website, where you will find the option for downloading Anaconda individual edition for Windows, which will download Python 3.9 version along with some Python packages, third-party Python packages. The installer itself occupies around 0.5 GB space. Make sure wherever you want to install Anaconda distribution, there is at least 3 GB space is available. You will be also be downloading, installing other third-party Python packages later using Conda installer. So make sure that enough space is available. It is preferable to save Anaconda distribution in C drive under users. Make sure that the folder that doesn't contain any spaces. Then after downloading the installer, you double click to launch it and follow the steps as shown in the screenshots. Agree to the license agreement, and then select the installation type, just me, which is the recommended. Continue to the next step. Select the destination folder under C drive users, name of the user. In my case, the name of the user is comp109. Then the Anaconda distribution will download itself in a folder named Anaconda 3. You select next. Um, then in case if you have any Python version installed earlier, uh, it will not register Anaconda 3 as a default Python 3.9. Otherwise, you select this option, register Anaconda 3 as my default Python 3.9. Don't select add Anaconda 3 to my path environment variable, and you select and you go forward and install Anaconda 3 distribution on your system. It will take some time, and when it is completed, it will ask you whether you want to even install PyCharm, which is an integrated development environment, but you are not required to download it for this course. You finish the installation, which will complete setting up of Anaconda on your Anaconda distribution on your system. Once you completed installing Anaconda distribution, you can verify whether Conda is installed or not by opening the command prompt from the start menu and typing in Anaconda prompt. You can run Anaconda prompt as administrator, and you can type in to verify the version of the Conda that has been installed along with Anaconda distribution by typing in the command conda space dash dash version. If it returns some version of Conda, here it has written Conda 4.10.3, that means Conda as Conda package and environment manager has been successfully installed along with Anaconda distribution. You can also get more information about Conda by typing in the command conda space info, which gives information about the current active environment, which is base, which is the default environment, which is shown before the command line within parenthesis base. There are no other environments created yet. We will be creating a new environment for the purpose of this course, and we will see how to activate such environment after creation. You can also see the Conda version 4.10.3 installed, and you can see the Python version 3.9.7 installed. You can get more information about installed Python packages along with Anaconda distribution by typing in the command conda.list, which will generate a list of Python packages which have been installed along with Anaconda distribution. Like for example, there are some useful packages which we will be using, like NumPy. It has been installed, which stands for numerical Python, and then Matplotlib, which is a basic plotting library in Python, and then Pandas, which is a which is a very versatile library for high performance, easy to use data structure and data analysis, especially the tabular data. You can deal with Python pandas, and similarly there are other useful Python packages, scikit-learn, seaborn, scipy, etc., which are installed along with Anaconda distribution. We will be needing few more third-party packages, Python packages such as GeoPandas, which is not yet installed. Then Rasterio is also not installed. We will be using Conda installer to install such packages, Python packages. Then you can try initiating the Python interpreter in the command prompt by typing in Python, which will print the version of the Python 3.9.7, and also the Python command line uh, uh, will be generated, where you can write small and simple codes and execute them just as we have done execution of simple codes on online Python interpreter available on python.org portal. You can also print the customary first program of printing hello world from Python command line in in this Python interpreter. And to exit from the Python interpreter, you have to type in exit and parenthesis. You can come out of Python command line. So here Python has been installed as part of Anaconda package management system. Python can also be installed as a standalone program by downloading from python.org, and interpreter can be initiated from command prompt by typing in Python from the command prompt in this same way. Now, if you want to run long codes, you can save the script as .py files in the same folder, C users, and where the Anaconda 3 folder is there, you can save the scripts as .py files, long scripts, and you can run from Python interpreter from the command line, Python command line, by in the fashion Python space name of the file .py. You can also initiate IPython from the command line. IPython is an enhanced Python interpreter which does the same thing with enhanced features than the Python interpreter. You can run codes from here, and you can exit IPython. Similarly, you can also access Jupyter notebooks by typing in Jupyter notebook in the command line. We will see a Jupyter notebook separately, as we will be dealing with the Jupyter notebooks all through the course, which are web-based notebooks, which are extension of IPython, and web-based notebooks with interactive document for coding, for writing text, for data, for visualization, and seeing the output. You can also save the output generated and share the notebooks with other users. We will be extensively working with Jupyter notebooks during this course, so we will deal with Jupyter notebooks separately in a while. Now we want to create a new environment, python-wrm, and install packages, useful packages in the new environment from Conda Forge channel as discussed earlier. In general, for creation of a new environment and for installation of the packages in the new environment from the Conda Forge channel, we have to run the Anaconda command prompt from start menu as administrator, and then start typing the commands as shown on the screen. For creation of any new environment, the command is conda space create space double dash name without any space in between, space the name of the new environment. Here the name of the new environment is python-wrm. However, here we want to run the new environment python-wrm with specific version of Python, that is 3.8, instead of already installed Python 3.9 version as part of the Anaconda distribution. So we want to install Python within this new environment python-wrm of version 3.8. For that, you can run this command conda space create space dash n without any space in between, and then space python-wrm, which is the name of the new environment, space python is equal to 3.8 without any space in between. This will create a new environment python-wrm with specific version of Python, that is 3.8. Once you create the new environment, you can see the listing of the environments by typing this command conda space info space double dash envs. Activation, you can activate the newly create environment with this command conda space activate space python-wrm. Then you can install the packages one after another in the new environment from Conda Forge channel with this command conda space install space dash c without any space, then space conda forge, which is the name of the class. C here stands for class, space, then package name. Actually, there is you need not install all the packages, because many of the packages like GeoPandas has dependencies on NumPy, Pandas, and Shapely. Therefore, GeoPandas has dependencies of Pandas and Shapely. Therefore, it will install Pandas and Shapely along if you install GeoPandas. So, but however, for just for getting used to, you can start installing each and every package listed here using this command in the command prompt to install the packages in the newly created environment. Here I am going to demonstrate how to create the new environment with a specific version of the Python, and how to activate it, and how to install packages in the new environment, newly created environment from Conda Forge class. Now I am running the Anaconda command prompt as administrator, and I will type the command of creation of the new environment conda create conda space create space dash n without any space, then space the name of the new environment to be created python-wrm space the version of the Python which I want to install within this environment, Python is equal to 3.8 without any space, and then press enter. Then it will start creating the new environment with Python installed within it, Python 3.8 version installed within it. And every time it asks whether to proceed further or not, even when at the time when you install the individual packages, you have to press Y and let it install the packages. So here while creating a new environment and installing a Python version 3.8, it is also creating these new packages within the environment because of dependencies. Now once we have the environment installed with the Python version 3.8, let us see still here the active environment is base, which is the default environment. Now we have created the new environment. Let us see the list of environments which are there. with the command conda space info space double dash envs without any space. So we have two environments, the base default environment and the newly created python-wrm environment. However, the active environment is still base as shown by the asterisk marked against base. Now let us activate the newly created environment python-wrm with the command conda space activate space the name of the environment python-wrm. So now as you can see, the within the parenthesis before the command line, base is replaced by python-wrm, which is indicative that the environment python-wrm has been activated. Now you can install the packages within this activated environment from the conda force channel with the command conda space install space -c class conda forge class space, say we will start with numpy. Then it will start collecting the packages and it will ask whether to proceed. These are all the dependencies of numpy. Then it will ask whether to proceed further, and every time you have to press Y and press enter, then it will install the numpy. So similarly, in the same way, you can install each of the listed packages one after another as shown in the slide. Let us conclude the first session at this point. Installation of each of the package as shown in the slide in the newly created environment in your system will take some time. You can proceed further and complete the installation of all the packages. And if you encounter any issue, you can raise the query in the WhatsApp group or in the e-learning platform. I thought of covering Anaconda Navigator guided user interface, which can be used instead of the command line prompt, which we have seen till now, and also the Jupyter notebooks, which will be the interface for executing the code, Python code all through the our course. I will be covering the Anaconda Navigator guided user interface introduction as well as the Jupyter notebooks introduction in the second session, and then we can go ahead with Python basic data types. Thank you very much.